Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Jersey, and today, yes, it's finally happened. I did my very first build in Palia. One of the reasons I got back into Palia was to play with the building blocks, and after a while getting back into the game, getting back to the structure, here we are once again, and finally doing a build. Now, and disclaimer, not an expert, don't know all the tricks and things in Palia. This was a whole learning curve, but as you can see, we're starting off right in the middle, using a block so I can kind of know my center. That was a big thing. Trust me, I did this build many times, taking it down many times, figuring out how to play and build in Palia. But okay, so like I said, I don't know if I'm doing everything right. Leave tips, leave in the comments below. Maybe I did a step that I could have saved a lot of hassle. Yes, I wanted to be by myself at first just to learn, and then I'm gonna explore and see how people are approaching their buildings, right? But as you can see, first I put my initial first block. That's what I did first. Then I did the platform going all the way around. So I'm pretty sure I went 9, I believe 9. This is something also to learn from me in Palia, was how to big, what is too big, what is too small, to kind of get the vision that you have to process, right? So that was really tricky for me to kind of grasp on that idea. So as you can see, at first I started laying out the foundation. Want to make sure that I have my openings, because my idea of here is to have 4 different entrances. But a little disclaimer at the end, by the time you get to move almost at the end of this video, I will run out of blocks. I was like, oh no, I hit a limit. Now I understand how a lot of people don't like that limit, but I did restructure, and it does get better. We do have final good look at the end. Okay, so after I finished that, I wanted to make this little walkway on the outside, but kind of to save a little blocks already. I already could tell that I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go through blocks like crazy. So what I'm doing is kind of like a different foundation over here, kind of put it like right in the middle, just to give me a little gap and little separation between the front and the back. So once we do this, we're also gonna go all the way around. So we first initial the first flooring, that is all with the building blocks, right? The little floor with the stone. And then we went around on the bottom side with all the edge, and then now we do the one that we just did all the way around. So I'm gonna show you like the first corners and then duplication, so this video won't be as long as it needs to be. But as you can see right here, now we're gonna work with the next foundation again, on the very top right over here, and all of that, you know. And even after thinking about it and looking at this, maybe there are some steps that I could have saved, so save some building blocks. I think I used more building blocks than I needed to on this particular build. Palia, it truly is different, especially with the limitation to build. You know, you guys know that I love to build. That's why I love playing this type of games. I love building in different games, but playing one that truly gives you a different way that is limitation, it really is interesting. It was I will be honest, it was frustrating. It was heartbreaking many times. And now I understand more of these amazing builds that we get to experience on tours. I'm like, oh my gosh, it really is heartbreaking that we have these limits, right? But okay, so now as you can see, we did the next platform all the top, so we got the entrance. We do the next round right here, and that looks really great, right? So now I want the middle piece then here to be with hardwood. So very simple right now, very easy to follow, nothing too complicated, you know. And we got the foundation. We got the foundation of the building. Now, trust me, it took me like forever to get this foundation just right. But for what you can see, it's really helpful for you. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to do, again, to save some space and stuff like that, I went kind of the same style, went kind of more in the middle. I wanted to know everything feels so blocky. I didn't want everything to feel like you can see the whole stone. So what I decided is to go halfway again between the tiles that I'm setting this on, and get this little wall and get this little again, another kind of little walkway on the outside effect. Now I didn't want the walkways to be exactly so long as a block, because I wanted to save some building pieces, because I didn't know if I was gonna hit the limit at some point. That I did. So it's a good thing we did that. So as you can see right here, I'm completing now this section. I'm very comfortable that I want to keep this where it's at. So I'm gonna now finish the doorway. I just needed to mark it so I can visualize it, because sometimes when you fill this up, I had a hard time visualizing, wait, where's the middle? Where's supposed to be the doorway? So by having it empty, it was a really easier for me to kind of measure, and then filling it with the blocks, and I was able to kind of fill it in. So now we are picking Pagoda. I can never pronounce that right, but you know what I'm building, right? You saw it on the thumbnail. And I like the structures. I saw many beautiful pictures, and I wanted to recreate that the best way as possible here in Palia. I love those type of buildings. I love building stuff like that. I think it's really fun to do it. And I wanted this two-tone situation, but I also, you know, it could have gone quicker if I would just kept with wood, but I decided to go with copper. And telling you what, you gotta do a lot of copper runs. So if you want to go a little bit quicker and you don't want to do that, then you can go with wood. But I really wanted to have a little more different tones as much as I could, so the build can stand down different ways. So I'm making the roof with the ramps, and I'm also doing the copper one, so it looks really good, right? So I wanted to feel that. So as you can see, we work with the corner at first, and then we're gonna with the roof. Now the roof, there's gonna be some weird jumps in this video because there were so many trials and errors that I didn't want to show you and explain every single trial and error. So I did show you like the most success that I had. I left some stuff in different versions of the building and sometimes the roof, just in case you want to save some building blocks, then you can go with a smaller version, a smaller elevation. There's a couple different ways that throughout this build that you're gonna see that you may like one more than the other, or maybe even more than my final results that I did. But as you can see, once you keep going with the roofing, I wanted this style right over here. There's different ways you could do the roof. You can do it with the beautiful, just normal square blocks. We just toured a beautiful Japanese garden that had kind of the same vibe and feel that we were doing on this building. So they did it all with building blocks. It kind of feel like Minecraft, right? So that was really cool. But I really wanted to try to make it a little more realistic as possible. So this is the reason I'm heading towards using the ramps. Now, again, this uses a lot of building blocks, a lot of resources. So if you have a lot of copper, great. But if you don't, feel free to make it with anything that you want. A lot of people like to do it with wood, right? Okay, so as you can see here, I'm trying to work on this corner, and this is one of the ones that I really left because this is one of the better versions of the corner. Now, the corners get reworked a couple times throughout this build that you're gonna see, but maybe there's something here that you like a lot, or maybe for a future build. But until I get this situation right? And to me, this is also a learning curve, and it was exciting and frustrating all at the same time because I was like, man, I can make this work, and learning, oh wait, I can click this and I can move it by myself. I can move it this way, I can do it this way. Finding ways to kind of make things work and clip and kind of put together. Now, I will say this, as I'm working on this corner and got a little bit of time here, that I can say that I like the future of Palia if they truly keep concentrating on building blocks. It's great. I love building blocks and I love building games, right? That's something that I really love. I love designing. I love building. It's fun. It's fun, you know, and I hope that they continue to work on this so we don't have to do a lot of the hacks or glitches that people do to make some of these building blocks turn, shape in different directions. It's great what the community is coming, and then if this is truly like one of your main games that you're putting a lot of time, it's really great, right? But if you're a person that's trying to keep up with multiple games at the same time, then when you do a build in Palia, it will take you time. So I want to really clarify that a lot of your time will go into this main game if you really want to build stuff like this that people are doing and we're seeing. And now I even understand more why they tell me that all they play is Palia, because if they're gonna put the time on a game, they prefer putting the time here so they can continue to build, they continue to create, and they continue to get the resources that they need. So everything clicks, right? Everything clicks. Okay, so what I did, something that you're gonna see, I didn't want to waste time going all the directions. So what I decided to do to make sure if I like the idea, if I could pull it off, was to concentrate on the front of the building and a little bit on the side. That's something that you're gonna see right here. That saves me time, it saves me effort, you know, because after you finish the front, right, if you got the front right, it's duplicating all four sides, right? This is a build that once you do one side, you duplicate it all on the other side. So to save time, to save blocks, I decided to go kind of front and a little more towards the side, kind of wrap around, figure out the heights that I needed, because I really wanted this to be a 3-tier. You will see that I eventually it's like a 2 and a little bit higher at the end. And really like that, you're gonna see different versions of the last tier on the top, how it changes. I like my very last one, but even throughout editing this video, I was like, you know what? Maybe I was overthinking it. That one looks really good too. But as you can see, we back up, we're working on the second one. So after I finished the roof on here, we started doing the second elevation. Now the second elevation and the top one worked out great. I like the way this felt, and I like that I'm using the same type of blocks, and it really worked out great. Now on the third level, I struggle with the way it was feeling to me, you know, and then to editing, I was like, you know, it might have been not bad, but maybe I was overthinking it. Sometimes when you're building, you really overthink, you really overanalyze, and at the same time, it was a learning curve. You're learning for the first time, so you're like, oh my gosh, I really want to get this done, and it's not, when it's not coming out, it's not coming out, right? But I took a break from the top because I needed a break. I remember this moment, like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna take a break, and I'm gonna work on the inside. I need to figure out my wall system on the inside, because I don't want to see all this roof, right? I don't want to see this. I don't want to. Now, you can save a lot of building blocks if you don't mind. You know, you can do a different roofing, but, you know, for my first build, I really wanted to be not so square. I really wanted to do shape and design, even inside the building, just as we did on the outside, doing those little accents that take your build to another level. So that's what we're doing right here. So I'm trying to figure out how I can put this wall kind of went up, so you kind of gotta work around. I want in an update, that you can climb the walls here, you know, so you don't have to make stairs all the time. That'd be absolutely amazing if that can ever come into the game. You can climb your own building blocks. That'd be great. But what I'm trying to do here is analyzing. At first, okay, there were a couple iteration of this idea. I almost was gonna do like a 2 separate walkways, but then I realized it was gonna be a little too small, and we're not gonna be able to decorate and make it look nice. So what I decided is to enclose it. Now again, if you want to sell building blocks, let's say you like the final results, you can make the inside less fancy, like truly make it less fancy, save those building blocks so you can do more on the outside, or pathing, or anything else you wanted to do. That will work out great. Now they are going to increase the limit, as you guys know, you can do all the way to 3,000, you know, substituting some of the other stuff. So it's going to be up to you guys how you guys want to handle that. If you guys want to do like a big build like this and then little things around it. So it's fun, right? And especially when it comes to building, if you're like me, you're never done. You finish, you build it, you tour it, you showcase it, and then you take it down to build something else. You know, that's the beauty of building game. That is something that we all love. So now I'm gonna work on this third tier. I was trying to figure out how do I want it to handle it, how do I want to bring it up. I want to keep my my 2 roof system over here. So as you can see, we're bringing the second roof on the top again, because, you know, I want it to feel long, just like I'm seeing in the picture. I think that it looks really fantastic. So I'm working on that, and then we got to work on the corners. And as you can see, we already did the first corner, as you saw in the beginning. It's a big opening, but we'll fix that. And then I'm doing the other here, so I can then get the flooring, so I can put the flooring, so then we can work on the third level. And like I mentioned earlier, I decided to do it this route. That way I will save resources, I will save time, and also I know if I really can pull off this build, because that is the main purpose, right? That's the main idea here. And I think I went a little too elaborate for my first build, you know, and trying to learn, and not only having so many few hours in different days to actually accomplish this, with so many things that we also do here in the channel. So I was like, you know what, but I think at the end, it looks okay. Okay, so this is where my first reaction was to the third flooring, and I quickly, as you can see, I was like, no, this is not working. This is torture. So I went ahead and kept working on the room. So we're gonna finish. As you can see, we finished one corner, so we just kind of keep duplicating the other corner. One thing that I noticed is sometimes things don't click the same way they do the other side. Sometimes you gotta go a little more manual, doesn't want to snap. It's different. I'm always trying to find this balance in Palia. Like, why are you not working? I did it on one side, why you don't working the same way over here? And I don't have an answer for that. I know a lot of you may have an answer, but I'm glad that I discovered little tricks, and they're here. Sometimes things didn't come out the same, and it took me a moment to realize, like, oh my gosh, why this is not coming out the same? And it's because I clipped something different in one end and the other. So that was also a learning curve, to understand and to kind of go. But as you can see, after thinking a little bit, I went back to the top, and I was like, okay, all right, let me see how this looks with the roof. Maybe it doesn't look as bad. I just don't know why the top looked different. Could have been the angle, you know. But even throughout editing later on, even rewatching it right now and talking and doing this voiceover, you know, at the end, at the end, I think it could have been okay, but I still like what I did better, that it wasn't as high. Now, if you're looking at a different angle, it could look really well. But over here, what I did, I already lowered it once. I used one wall instead of two. And I thought that looked better. It felt a little better. Now, one of the reasons also that I think it was a little off, and I can talk about this now, it's just in the third flooring, I can't do the double roof. That means that the whole building would have had to be bigger and then more blocks, right? So I think the top of the roof at the very end, even at the end of the video, I think it looks a little off because it's not the same thing as the first two roofs that you can see two other ramps, right? It makes it feel long. It makes it feel like this. The other one on the top, it just feels a little bit like different, just a little bit different, and it is a little annoying even for me. I tried a couple times to see if I could make an illusion, if I could kind of erase it. It wasn't gonna work. The only work that's gonna work if you actually make the dimensions bigger, and then you can have the double roof on the top. So another great way to do that, if you really wanted to do that, is I would say concentrate just building the building. Don't build all the half in the back. Concentrate on the front and the back, and then push the double, and then that will give you the new dimension, so then you can close it and finish the back, the half backwards. So that will be the way I will approach it, if just in case, if you're that type of person that's like, you know what, that's what I want it with the double, I don't want it with a single, then do that. In Palia is very different compared with builder games. I feel like to restart something in Palia, you really gotta want to restart it and take it down. So I find myself compromising a little bit more often than I do in other games, just because of that reason. Because, you know, it's not just picking things up, taking it down. You cannot just pick one thing up. You gotta do it in a specific sequence. I find that very annoying, because I just want to pick this piece of roof of this piece of block, but since it's attached in a specific sequence, you can't take it out. And so that really, even as a people that love designing, that I know a lot of you do, it is annoying. And I was like, okay, I can't do what exactly I want to do, so I'm going to do a compromise, because I don't want to move all this one more time again. Now, if you have the time and if you want it to be exactly perfect, that a lot of you do, you know, there's some builds out there that are so immaculate that you know they had to take that thing down 400 times just to make it look the way they needed to. But that is my experience, right? And we're talking about my first experience truly building in Palia and trying to learn the mechanics. Something that I didn't do here, I didn't do any glitching, as you guys can know. No glitching, nothing like that. No Palia magic, nothing like that. I tried to do it the normal Palia way, and if there's a trick in a way that can be done without glitching or anything like that. So that's how I concentrate. Now there's other stuff that I tried to do, could not master it. I don't know why it didn't work. I tried to watch other people tried to explain it. So I'm gonna get hands down to do a couple things different, so see if that looks better in the future. So we're gonna work on that, maybe on stream with everybody, and try to learn it, trying to master it, right? Especially like turning the pillars for the stay, instead of every time I grab it, it goes back to up. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but all that. But over here, I decided in this particular moment in time, I'm working on this roof layering. So one of the reasons that I'm leaving it here and I left this piece along here is so you can see it, because some of you may like this roof design, the way it's kind of crossing each other, giving this little look. Maybe this is something that you truly like, so I'm leaving it here. But also I decided, this is the one time that I decided, you know what, maybe I can go and not have a third tier, right? We got the 1, we got the 2, and then we got kind of like a little high roof. Now I kind of liked it in many ways, but at the end, it's not the build that I wanted. So on this scenario, yes, that third piece, I did took it out a lot, into the point that it needed to be something that I was proud of, and I felt good, even though it's not perfect, because it is not perfect. Even my final result is not perfect, but this wasn't bad. And this was one of the first time that I was like, okay, this looks pretty good. I'm happy the way it's feeling. Maybe I'll leave it like this and just work on the roof. And I like all this layering in the roof. I think it looks really cool, and the way you clip this, and I thought that was really great. I wish we had a little more control to bring things a little lower. I think that'd be great and will help us a lot. But I don't know if that's something that's gonna come. It's not something normal in games like that to be able to do this, but I do like it. So as you can see, I'm still working on the roof, trying to bring it a little bit of height. And again, we're just working on the very front of the half, so we can kind of see. I just felt like in this particular version of the build that I needed to have a little high peak. And once we did it, that looks great. So I really like and this is a good version of the building if you want to save some building blocks, right? If you want to save a lot of roofing, a lot of building blocks. But at the end, after thinking about it, going on resource grind and stuff like that, saying hi to people in the world, I decided that I needed to go just a little square higher. So I did a block, as you can see, did a block, and that made me feel better. That brought me a little peace. So I was like, okay, I think I got it. I think that's how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna keep it like that. Spoiler alert, it did change. So we got down. I did kind of the roof. I kind of like the idea. So I was like, okay, I can't go as high, but I like it. Let's keep it like that. Let's keep working and keep adding more of the pieces. Now, when you see me going back and forth here, it's because sometimes I had to go get material. So if I had material for something, I worked on that. And when I ran out of other, then I just work on something else until I ran out completely of the materials. And then I went back out and gathered more resources. So something that I wanted to do in the front here, it was adding like these pillars here. I wanted to do a different design that I can't, for some reason, the life of me, master turning them and keeping them turned. I've seen videos, people had DM me to explain it. We're gonna do it on, I got to do it with someone. I'm doing something wrong. Don't know what it is for all that. So we added on the door frame here. We added a little bit of the copper just to give you a little accent on the little door frame. I think that looks really good. As you can see, the inside's completely done. It's just duplicating what we did in different steps. And we get in the front, we're getting good. We got the lantern and all that. Now, there's still something in the roof that are still not the best thing ever. I still feel like we need to curve up. So we actually end up doing that. You see on the thumbnail, so we did work on that. But as you can see on the east side, again, I just want a square room and stuff like that. So I went ahead and added more building blocks here. This is a place maybe I can say some building blocks, come back in, take all those out, and maybe add tables. But I really like what the different tones this gives you. And at the same time, my goal was to see what I could do with building blocks. So going with furniture, I felt like I was gonna cheating a little bit. So I went ahead and did it with building blocks just so I see how far I can go with the building blocks idea. So we did the inside, you can see, just duplicating every single section. We put some banners on the top. We got some of the lamps, as you can see. We got beautiful lamps already. The small one on the inside, big ones on the outside. Okay, so now we're gonna be working on this little corners here. I really wanted to feel like it goes up in the corner, like you see in the pictures. So the best way that I figured out after a couple tries, and then I was ready to record, is kind of getting to them. So right here, I was trying to do something here. This version did not work. At least I didn't like it as much as the one that I have. Make sure that when you're doing this, do a version that you like. The best one that I found is when I put the one over here, put one kind of more diagonal and all of that, and I feel like it curves up. I just didn't like one was curving a little more towards the side in the corner. So I think it was better if I kept it kind of straight, like what you see right now, right here, right? Keep the one in the middle like that, pointing out, and keep the other one down. And I think I like this more. I feel like it shapes more, and then it's slowly giving me that look that we need for this building. And I was like, okay, I really like this. I think this is shaping up. I went ahead and moved one of the lamps, move it to the corner, and we just started kind of doing that right there. So I think it's really, really nice. I think this comes a long way for a lot of people to really enjoy and kind of give you that shape, because I think that shape is so important. It truly is such an important shape, especially for this building, to really make it work. So we're gonna go over here, we're gonna work on the next corner, as you can see, and we're gonna do the same sequence. So it's basically do it the opposite, set it up, do it the opposite, and then put the one piece in the middle, make the other two pieces flat, kind of snap it in, clip it in, make sure that it's looking good. And sometimes I don't know, I just find it a little hard sometimes to really snap and kind of stay, and then as soon as I'm gonna press it, it goes. So I did it one there, as you can see it, do the other one there. I do in the middle, and sometimes the middle is tricky depending how you're looking at it. Over here you can see that it's not exactly the middle, one side's bigger than the other. So make sure that middle piece, and the way I found it easier, you really gotta snap one side, then do the middle piece, and then do the other side. That's how it worked for me. I found it a lot easier if I do it that way. So again, do one piece, then kind of center the middle if you can. See how it is trying? I just can't get it to snap. Wait, so what I do, I take out one of them. See, we're gonna take that one, we're gonna do it in the middle. It's gonna snap right there. You see how it's snap, and then we're gonna turn it, make it in the middle, make sure that you get equal on both sides, and then snap the other one that works great so that you get that corner, and then you get this. Now we eventually do move the trees. You're gonna see that at the end. So we move it. So we move the lamps, just like we see in real life pictures how they hang those lamps in the corner. I think once I started doing that, it really started giving this different look. Like it's starting like, okay, it is coming out like what I want, like what I envision, and then it's making the reward and the progress really rewarding. I'm like, yes, it's coming out, it's coming out. Now Nestor did look at it a couple times and make sure there was a couple versions that she's like, I don't like this looks horrible, doesn't look good. But as you can see, we did the first and the second flooring. Now once I did the second flooring, then I thought, and I did the third, as you can see here, I'm like, oh man, it's just too close. So what I did, bam, I put another block and just added a little extra, gave it a little extra high, and as you can see, then we added one more block base in the bottom. So in the bottom, I added the big blocks. Now that was really fun for me to do and to move to get just right, but we managed to do it. That was nerve-wracking, but I got it. So I added the big block in the bottom, so now it feels a little more elevated, just like I saw in the pictures. Once I realized that I still got a little bit building blocks, so I went and did that. I really want this to feel a little bit higher and do a good little stairway system. Now again, I was trying to do a stairway system, but since I was getting close to building blocks limit, I didn't do the stairway, so I went ahead and did it with the ramps to save a couple building blocks, because you know, building the stairs do take, especially with building blocks, they do take quite a bit more. So I went ahead and did that. So now a lot of the pictures, if you see this type pagoda, I know I'm not pronouncing it right, but they do a lot of flowers around there. They do fencing there. You know, yeah, look at those real life pictures of those places and see what they do. You know, I don't have all the items in Palia. There is a perfect item that it would have been great with the vase, with the kind of flowers elevated. I think that would look great. But as you can see, I moved the trees. I pushed the building a little more back. We finished the ramp. We got 2 trees for now. I'm growing more trees, so we're gonna decorate a lot more of this during our live streams together. You know, but we got it finished. I think it looks really great. For my first build in Palia and learning and understanding, I think I'm gonna do better in the future. Now there is a lot of decorating to do, so this is the end of the building, but we still need to decorate it. There's plushies to add, there's ideas, there's furniture that we need to do. The inside is just the way we left it, nothing here just yet. I wanted to do a couple things, but again, with the building block limit, I really kind of ran out, so I was like, I can't do that and do that. So I did some things, but I took it off, so we're gonna save that for another future. The entrances, all that stuff, I can't make all 4 entrances that I wanted unless the 3000 limit item comes in, so I can't do that. So I'm gonna have to rework those to feel like you only have one. You can go in and out, but it's just gonna feel more like a porch. But this is the building. This is the building. This is my first build in Palia ever. I really had a fun, frustrating time building and designing and learning. It was truly something to remember, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, enjoying what went through my mind as I did this build, and I thought of you, all the time. But guys, I do want to say thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you want to see more videos, and I'll see you next time. And hit that like if you want me to build more and try to do another design, okay? Hit that like. All right, guys, bye.